Hello everyone, welcome back to Gia's Crochet. This week I will show you how to crochet this short sleeve top. We will be making two panels, both exactly the same. First, you're going to need to measure your upper body and divide that number by 2. Let's say I measure myself and it comes out to be 30. You're going to divide that by 2, so it would be 15. So it's going to be 15 inches for the front panel and 15 inches for the back panel. We will start off by making the mid-front area, and then we're going to be working outwards in decreases, working on the sleeves. If you don't understand what I am saying right now, then you can just skim through the video and it's pretty easy to follow. And if you still don't get it, I will leave the written instructions in the description box below. Anyway, you can grab your tea, a cozy blanket, and let's begin. So we're going to grab our yarn. I'm using a category 4 yarn and a 6mm crochet hook, and we're going to start off by making a slip knot. And now we're going to grab our hook and we're going to do a chain. The length of your chain is going to be from the bottom of your neck down to however long you want your shirt to be. So you're just going to chain that amount, and this piece that I'm doing right now is just an example piece, so it's going to be smaller, but the steps are going to be exactly the same for whatever size shirt you want to make. So again, you're going to make the length of your chain from the bottom of your neck down to however long you want your shirt to be. I've done a chain of 25 for my example piece, and now we're going to do an extra chain. So now we're going to do a row of slip stitches. So how I like to do it, I like to work into the back loops instead of the side loops, because if you work in the back loops, it ends up having a nicer finish to the project. So you're going to skip your very first stitch that you have, the extra one that we've made, and we're going to be working into the second one. So insert your hook and grab yarn and do a slip stitch. So do a slip stitch in each chain until you get to the end of the round. I'm here at the end of my row of slip stitches. I'm just doing my last slip stitch. And now we're going to end this row off with a chain 1, and now we're going to turn. And now we're going to do slip stitches in the back loops only. So not the loop in the front, but the back loop. So we've made our chain 1, that's our chain 1, and this is our first stitch. So insert your hook into the back loop and do a slip stitch. So you're going to be doing slip stitches for the rest of this round in the back loop only until you get to the very end. And then once you get to the end, you're going to chain 1, turn, and repeat this pattern. I'm going to show you a few more rows of slip stitches and chain 1s, but that is basically how the pattern is going to go. So you're going to slip stitch in the back of each loop, and then at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And I'll meet you when I'm done with this round. I'm here at the end of this row, and I'm going to do my last slip stitch, and now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to, once again, it's blurry, sorry about that, we're going to once again do slip stitches in the back loops only. So we've made our chain 1, and now we're going to go into our first stitch and do a slip stitch into the back loop only. So we're always going to be working in the back loops and doing a slip stitch, and then at the end of the round you're going to chain 1 and turn and repeat. Continue doing this pattern until you get your desired width, and your width should be, hang on, let me show you. So I'm just going to fold this real quick. So your width should be from the side of one shoulder to the other side. Ignore these extra rows, so this is all I'm talking about. I'm only talking about this general portion, not the sleeves. So your width is going to be from the side of one shoulder to the other side. And we're going to be working up and down, so we're going to be working this way to make our width. So once again, it should be from one shoulder to the other shoulders, minus 1 inch for your sleeves. So continue working this same pattern of doing back loop slip stitches in each stitch, and at the end of the round, chain 1, turn, and repeat. And I will meet you once I have my desired width. I am here at the end, and I just wanted to let you know that this does stretch out quite a bit, so make sure that you're measuring this properly. So stretch it out and then measure it. Don't just measure it like this. Okay, now I'm going to be doing one portion of the sleeves, and I'll meet you when I'm done with it, and then I'll show you how to do the other one. I've done one part of my sleeve, keeping in mind that it does go down up into the mid portion of your underarm. And now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So first of all, you're going to put the shirt up to yourself, and you're going to figure out where the bottom portion of your arm is. So you're going to put this up to yourself, find where the bottom of your arm starts, and then we're going to make our sleeve, or the bottom portion of our sleeve. So what you're going to do is first you're going to place a stitch marker where your underarm starts. So I've already done one portion, so I already know where it is, and you're just going to do back loop slip stitches until you get to that portion. I'm here where my underarm starts, and now we're going to chain one and turn. And now we're going to start crocheting this little decrease section. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook into the back loop of your first stitch, grab yarn, pull through, insert your hook into the stitch afterwards, grab yarn, pull through, and then you're going to grab more yarn and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So you've just made a decrease. And now you're just going to continue slip stitching until you get to all the way down to the bottom portion. I'm here at the bottom, and now I'm going to chain one and turn, and now we're just going to slip stitch in each stitch until you get to the very top. I'm here at the very top. I'm doing my last slip stitch. Now I'm going to chain one and turn. And now we're going to do another decrease. So insert your hook into the first 2 loops and grab yarn. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through all 3. And now you're going to slip stitch until you get to the bottom. So this is how you're going to be working your rows. So when you're going to work from the bottom up, you are not going to be doing decreases, but when you work from the top down, you're going to be doing a decrease. So right now, we're not doing a decrease row, so we're going to do regular slip stitches, chain one, turn, do regular slip stitches until you get to the very top, chain one, do a decrease, do slip stitches until you get to the very bottom, chain one, do slip stitches until you get to the very top, chain one, do a decrease, and then slip stitches to the very bottom, so on and so forth. I will be leaving the written instructions in the description box below, which are going to be posted on my Instagram. So if what I'm saying doesn't make sense, the instructions will help a lot. So feel free to visit my Instagram to find the written instructions. So I'm here at the end. I'm going to chain one and turn, and now I'm going to be doing a regular row of slip stitches, and I'm going to be showing you what the repeat is going to look like, so you know how to finish your arm. I'm here at the end, and now I'm going to chain one and turn, and now we're going to be doing another decrease. So start off with a decrease, and then slip stitch all the way down. Then chain one and turn, and do a regular row of slip stitches. Then chain one, turn, and then once again do a repeat by starting with a decrease and just repeating the same steps over until you get to the length you want. Keeping in mind that you're going to be making 2 of these, so when you put them together, they should fit you nice and well, keeping in mind that it does stretch. I'm done with the first part of my shirt, so now I'm just going to snip a tiny bit of yarn off, making sure that you end it off with a chain one, and then you snip off your yarn, and then you pull through, then you tighten it up. So this is your front portion. You're going to make another portion that's going to be exactly the same as this one, so make your second piece and I'll meet you when you're done. I've just finished making my second piece exactly the same, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be stitching both ends together. You can either use a darning needle or your hook. For this video I'm going to be using my hook. So you're just going to make a slip knot, insert your hook into the first stitches on both sides of your project, or both sides of your two pieces, and then pull the yarn through, chain one, and now you can either do slip stitches or single crochet until you have both sides stitched up. And keep in mind that both sides should have the exact same number of stitches. If you've made your second piece exactly the same, which you should have, so both sides should have the same number of stitches on both ends. So stitch up both sides and I'll meet you when I'm done. I've just finished stitching both sides together, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to flip it inside out. So the stitches are inside so you can't see them. And all of these extra pieces of yarn that are hanging out, you're going to have to sew them in or partially sew them in and then cut them off later. Now we're going to be working on our arm portion. So you're going to put this on and you're going to measure how many chains you're going to be needing to make your shoulder portion, because this is supposed to be right underneath your neck. And so you're going to be needing to measure how long of a chain you're going to need in order to make the sleeves. So just insert your hook into the top chain, and then make the chain or the measurement that you need. I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains. And then we're going to turn our work around. Actually, no, don't turn your work around. You're going to slip stitch into that chain, if I can get my hook through, and you're going to chain 1. And now we're going to be working on our sleeves. I'll be right back. I'm going to be tucking these pieces in so the video is less confusing, so I'm going to be tucking this in. I'll be right back. I'm back. I tucked in most of the loose ends so it looks a lot cleaner. So we've just made our chain that goes over our shoulder, and now we're going to be doing our sleeves. So you can do the sleeves whatever way you'd like. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do double crochets along the chain that we've just made, and then half double crochets all the way down till we get to our corner, and then single crochets down this little angle. The reason I like doing that is so the bottom of your sleeve doesn't get too tight and you also have something covering your shoulders. That's just how I personally like it, but you can make it however you'd like, and I'm just going to show you the way I do it. So I'm going to chain 2 because we're going to be doing half double crochets, making sure, or double crochets, so chain 3. And now you're going to be doing double crochets on your chain, so put 1 double crochet in each chain that you have. And it would have been a good idea if you did your chains loosely, unlike me, I did my chains tight. The looser your chain is, the easier it is to put your stitches in. So I've done my double crochets along the chain, and now I'm going to be doing half double crochets starting from the side chains. You can see that there are stitches along the side. You're just going to put one half double crochet in each of those stitches. I've done my half double crochets, and now we're going to be doing single crochets. So we're going to be doing single crochets differently because you can't really tell which where the stitches are. So what you're going to be working into are these little holes that are pretty noticeable. So we're going to be working into each of these little gaps. So you're just going to be placing one single crochet in each of those little gaps until you get to the opposite side. And once you get to the opposite side, we're going to once again do half double crochets in each of the stitches. Once you've done your half double crochets, you're going to slip stitch into your very first double crochet because that's what we started with. And then you're going to once again chain 3 and then repeat this round. Repeat this round however many times you like, to whatever width or length you want your sleeve to be. I'm just going to be repeating this round one more time by doing double crochets along the place where we chained, half double crochets along the sides, double crochets above, or single crochets where our single crochets were, then double and then slip stitch, and then that's it. So I'm going to show you one more round. So do a double crochet in each stitch where the double crochets were in the previous row. Then do half double crochets where half double crochets were in the previous row as well. Then do single crochets in each stitch where your single crochets were. Once you get to the opposite side, we're going to do more half double crochets until we get to the end of the round. Once you make it to the end of your round, you can finish off just by slip stitching, chaining 1 and then cutting, or you can do another round of single crochets or slip stitches to make it look better. But for the sake of the video, this is all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to cut a small little piece and then pull through. You're going to do the exact same thing that you did on this side for the opposite side to make your second sleeve. Now what we're going to be doing is the turtleneck portion. So you're going to get your yarn and insert it wherever you'd like. I prefer starting from one of the sleeves, so I'm going to start right over here. And you are going to chain 1. Now we're going to be doing a round of single crochets. So we're going to be starting off doing our single crochets along the front side, and that side is the one with the little noticeable holes. So like this one and this one, so on and so forth. And you're going to be doing a single crochet in each of those. I'm pointing that out because the front side doesn't really have noticeable stitches you can go into, so you're going to have to go through the little holes that are visible. I'm here at the end, and now we're going to do single crochets in each stitch along the sleeve portion. You're not going to skip any or do anything like that. You're just going to do a single crochet in each stitch on the sleeve. Once you get to the opposite side, you're going to once again do a single crochet in each of the visible holes that you see until you get to the opposite side. Once you get to the opposite sleeve, you're going to once again do a single crochet in each stitch until you get to the opposite side. So we've just completed one round of single crochets, and now what you want to do is you want to put this on and see if your head fits through properly. If the top portion is too tight, then you might have to undo some and adjust it however it fits you. But for me this is fine. And now you're going to just slip stitch into your very first single crochet, if I can get my hook through. There we go. And now what you're going to do is you're going to measure how long you want your turtleneck to be. Measure it and then chain that amount. For me, I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains. So I'm going to actually do 5, and then the 6th one is an extra one. So get your chain and then chain an extra, and then you're going to do a slip stitch in each stitch, working downwards. So I've just made a chain of 5, and then I chained an extra for a total of 6. You're going to skip the first chain and then slip stitch in each of the rest of the chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my 5th one. And now what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into your next available stitch and the one after that. Turn your work and then find your last slip stitch that you've made. So you just did 2 slip stitches along the shirt border. So you're going to skip those, so 1, 2, and you're going to start slip stitching into your 3rd one. If that didn't make sense, I'm going to do a few more rows so it does. Once you get to the top, you're going to chain 1 and turn once again. And you're going to slip stitch into each stitch. 3, 4, and 5. And now you're down here at the shirt border, and you're going to slip stitch into your next 2 stitches. Then you're going to turn, you're going to skip the first 2 that you've just made, and you're going to slip stitch into your 3rd, and slip stitch all the way until you get back to the very top. I'm going to show you one more time. Chain 1 and turn, slip stitch into each stitch all the way down, and then slip stitch into your next available stitches on your border. Turn, skip the 2 slip stitches that you've just made, and then slip stitch into your 3rd, going all the way up. So just repeat that until you get all the way around. You should notice that the turtleneck curve inwards because it's supposed to do that, but it does stretch, so don't worry about it not fitting because it will. And I will meet you when I'm done with that portion. I've just finished my turtleneck portion and I've already stitched it together. You're going to stitch it the same way that we stitched the sides by doing either a slip stitch or a single crochet. Then cut off a little bit of yarn and then tuck it into your work. And now we're going to do our border. The border is optional, but it will make your bottom portion look a lot more neater. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert your hook and your yarn through the sides of your shirt. And we're going to chain 1. And now we're going to do a single crochet once again through all of these little holes that are here. So these little holes. And we're going to do a single crochet in each of them all the way around, and I will meet you at the end once I've finished this round. I'm here at the end and I'm just going to slip stitch into my very first single crochet and chain 1. You can leave it like that and finish it off. It does have a nice neat ending. Or if you want your border to be slightly larger, this is what you should do. First, figure out how large you want your border to be, and then chain that amount. I'm going to make mine 4 chains long, and then you're going to chain an extra, and then you're going to do a single crochet from your second stitch from your hook, and a single crochet in each stitch until you get to the bottom border. Once you get to the bottom border, you're just going to once again slip stitch into your next available stitch and the one after that. So the same thing that we've done for our neck. Turn our work, skip the first 2 stitches, and then do a single crochet into your border stitches. Then you're going to chain 1 again and then turn, and then do a single crochet in each of your border stitches. Then slip stitch into your next 2 available stitches, and then repeat that all the way around. I'm not going to be doing the whole entire round for this video, but that's basically how you do it. You're going to do a single crochet in each of your border stitches, chain 1, turn, single crochet in each of your border stitches, making sure you single crochet in the back loops only, slip stitch into your next 2 available stitches along the bottom of your shirt, turn your work, skip the first 2 stitches, and then do more single crochets. Continue working that all the way around if you want to have a larger border, but if not, again, you can just do your 1 round of single crochets and that's it. So that is how you make your shirt. I hope this video helped. If it did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave your comments down below on what I should make next. It could be anything from stuffed toys, more t-shirts, pants, anything, accessories, headbands, you name it. You can comment it down below and I will try to make a video on it as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed this week's video and I'll see you next time. Bye!